What's happening, dudes and dudettes? It's Sudiaku Masaska, also known as the Skillless One on YouTube. Just had an awesome match in Ranked with this DR4 Gothius. And I was having a lot of fun playing this. So I kind of wanted to run through this awesome double comeback that I did, because he kind of screwed me over twice, although one of them was my fault. So we're going to run through it slow, and I'm going to try to explain things as it goes. But I'm not going to go too in detail, because I don't want it to be overly aggravating or confusing. So we're just going to run through it, because I think this is awesome. So we start off with an okay hand, in my opinion. We got Doki Doki, we got one of our tuners, and some combo cards that'll allow me to do some weird shit. So the first thing I notice in this hand is that I have Doki Doki, which is a really good card, and I have Researcher. Now I can either summon Researcher and just search for a card right away to try and summon, or I can try to use Doki Doki and Emancipator Signs in order to get a multi-summon. So I went with a multi-summon plan, and it was really fun. But unfortunately, I get screwed at the end. So we'll go through it. We summon Doki Doki, and then he lets me sack a card and summon a card of the same level and element. So I went with another one of the tuners, who is also a level 2. All of the Emancipator tuners allow you to look at the top 5 cards of your library. Once per turn. You can look at the top 5 cards of your library, and then you can summon one level 4 or lower rock-type monster that is not a tuner. So I'm going to try to activate both of those tuners' effects on this turn using Doki Doki and Signs. So right here, Emancipator Seeker summoned the Leonite, and then I activated Signs, which allowed me to bring Researcher back from the grave after sacrificing her. And she still has her effect, so I can activate her version of the effect, which will let me summon another level 4 or lower rock from the top 5. We get Sentry Soldier of Stone, which is a really good card, especially in this deck, because when it's in the graveyard, you can just keep summoning it back from the graveyard as long as you only control rock-type monsters. And that's essentially 90% of the deck. I think the only non-rocks are in the extra deck. But unfortunately, our opponent here activates a card called Nibiru. Nibiru is a card I have not seen in ages, but it is a really good card. Anytime your opponent summons 5 times in one turn, you can just fucking wipe the field and then replace it with a token that I think has like the combined defense of all of their attack put together. So I get Nibiru'd here. This is kind of bad. I lose all 5 of my monsters, which kind of sucks because I just spent all that time summoning 5 monsters, and he gets to summon his Nibiru, and he gives me a token with a crap ton of defense points. But like I said earlier, Sentry Soldier of Stone has an ability where if I control only rock-type monsters, I can summon it from the grave, and luckily, the primal being that it summons is a rock-type monster, so we're going to summon Sentry Soldier of Stone back. And then I'm going to bring in my field spell. Now this is where shit gets kind of weird. My field spell lets me put 5 Emancipators on the top of my deck in any order that I choose. And in doing so, I can kind of set up for next turn. So I got screwed by sending 5 cards to the graveyard, but I'm going to try to make the best of it by setting up for next turn. And I'm going to set up for whether or not the Primal Being token is still on my side of the field. Because I could have went with Seeker, who would have allowed me to do the same combo I just did again. But instead, I decided to go for Researcher, because I can special summon it if I control a rock-type monster, and if I don't, I can just outright summon it and start my combo piece again. He gives me a nice 1,000 type. And then this is where I realized that he's running a Photon deck. I got kind of scared here, because Photon decks are notoriously hard to deal with. Because they like to remove themselves from play and then return to the field, like he's about to do. This is how he gets rid of the rock. So, he attacked with a dragon whose ability, it removes itself from the field, and then it destroys the card that it was battling. And then it comes back at the end of the turn. So essentially, he got no loss and got to clear my entire field. So here's the first comeback. I'm starting with practically nothing, but I did set up last turn to make sure that the card that I draw is the card that I need to start over. So we're going to start with Researcher. First, we're going to get rid of this trap card that I'm afraid of, because I don't want him to stop my normal summon. Ironically, he negates my Galaxy Cyclone, which is useless. And he sends it back to the deck. And then, because Researcher is a Rock-type monster, we can summon Century Silver Stone back to the field. And we'll activate Researcher. Top 5, we're looking for a level 4, preferably, so that I can summon my level 6 Synchro. You can get it with Cookie Mirror Wall. So we're going to Synchro into Adamancipator Risen Riptide. Now here's where it gets weird. So Riptide has the same ability as the Tuners, where it can look at the top 5 cards of your library and summon one Rock-type monster. The only difference is the Tuners can't summon other Tuners. Riptide can. So what I'm doing here is I'm activating my field spell again, which lets me put 5 Adamancipators on top of the library again. And this time I'm trying to get the level 4 Tuner, so that I can activate its ability and try to get another level 4 so I can summon my level 8. Unfortunately, it does not work the way I want it to. I do get to level 4 because I guaranteed it. But I fucked up by putting 4 of the 6 cards in my deck that I could summon off of this at the bottom of the library, which sucks. So I made a huge misplay right here. So I get no cards off the top, so I get nothing. But luckily, this deck is very versatile, so I just sacked 1 Tuner and 1 non-Tuner to summon Halka Freebright. And I did this because I need my level 2 Tuner, and he summons a level 3 or lower Tuner from the deck. So we go into my level 8 Synchro. We got Dragnite. And now here's where I make the biggest mistake I've ever made in my entire life. I didn't read this card. I assumed that it activated when you summon something. So you summon a card, and then its effect activates. But it doesn't. It's a quick effect. It can be activated at any point during the turn, as long as it's during the main phase. So I have summoned more than 5 cards again this turn. And Dragnite reveals the top 5 cards, and for every monster I can return a monster from the field to the hand. Now I'm going to return all 3 of his monsters. This is the big mistake, because Nibiru can just activate again, so I get wiped for a second time. And I get a much weaker token this time. Which really sucks, because now I've got pretty much nothing. I'm right back where I fucking started on turn 1. Luckily, I only take 1,000 points here, so I'm not feeling too bad about this. But here's where shit gets real. I get the God Draw, one of 2 cards that can save me. Either the level 4 Tuner, which summons itself if my opponent controls monsters, and I don't. Sure, Neothagat. Can it wait a little bit? I want to finish this video. So, I get the God Draw here, I get Block Dragon. Block Dragon allows me to sack 3 cards from my graveyard that are Earth-type into the Banish Zone, and it summons itself. And it makes Rock-type monsters undestroyable by card effects, which is really cool. And then once again, we have Century Soldier of Stone in the grave, and Block Dragon is a Rock-type, so we're going to bring him out. Now this is a bait. I'm going to kill his Photon, the 1,000 attack pointed monster, with Block Dragon, but I'm going to leave Block Dragon there. Now, the best move for my opponent here is to kill Block Dragon, because if you kill Century Soldier of Stone, it does nothing. He just comes back next turn. But I left him there because he's easily destroyable by Nibiru, so I wanted him to attack Century Soldier of Stone. But here's the best part. I set up for next turn. No matter what happens, I'm winning next turn. So I've used my field spell to put Adamancipators at the top of the library. I have put Researcher, obviously, and I've put the Dragnite level 4, because that lets me draw a card off summon. And then I put all the magic and traps that I don't want, so that they'll all go to the bottom of the deck after I activate Researcher's effect. So all I have to do is survive this turn. Luckily, he doesn't summon the dragon again, because if he summons the dragon, I'm screwed. I think he bricked real hard with his Photon deck. I don't know how, but he did. So I pull Researcher, which is exactly what I need. We bring back Sentry Soldier Stone, because I control a Rock-type monster. Then we can special summon this. We can activate its effect. Now we've already guaranteed that we're getting the level 4 water type. And luckily we get another magic card, which is at the bottom of the deck. That lets me draw a Call to the Grave. I don't need it, but it is a good card to have. Now we're going to go into my level 6 again, into Riptide. Then we're going to activate the field spell, because I want to guarantee 2 things. First, I want to guarantee I get my level 4 tuner, because I need it. And then I want to get rid of as many of my magic and trap cards as I possibly can, so that I can almost guarantee that I get another level 4 non-tuner off of the level 4 ability. So we're going to guarantee that card, and then we're going to put a bunch of the tuners in there, and the trap cards that I can't use. Because we don't want to pull tuners we can't summon. So we're going to pull 1 tuner level 4 off of this draw. The rest of the cards go to the bottom of the deck. And then we're going to activate the level 4 to pull again. Unfortunately, we get a lot of magic and traps, which sucks. But we do end up getting a level 4 Kokimiru Guardians there, thank God. I thought about taking Doki Doki, but I don't have a card in my hand to sack, so it's kind of useless to me right now, so we go Guardian. And then 4 into 4 makes 8. We get this bitchin' Drag Knight. And this time, I refuse to make the same mistake. My field spell increases my Rock-type monsters by 500, so Drag Knight is already stronger than Nibiru. There is no reason to send it back to the hand. So I did a little bit of calc here and noticed that I have game, and I just swung. The double wipe comeback. I don't even know how many monsters I summoned, but I'm sure it was ridiculous. It was a really fun battle. It really shows the strength of the Adamanticators, too. They just have the comeback mechanic on them. As long as you don't shut down their abilities, they are really strong.